Oh, oh. If you're watching this video, this is gonna be an experiment. I am recording. I'm going to record in podcast while and uploading. There is a YouTube feature, but it has to be in a video format, and I never really thought of had anything to. I don't want to edit a video. I'm not great of an editor, so I thought maybe I play a game of you know, Suika game. Do my podcast. No, you will off around here as much as my camera can pick it up. Sorry, and that's just what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna start my episode. If you want to check out the episode, the oh is the podcast name is City's Topics of the Day. I basically pick a topic for every day and basically talk about like from 40 minutes about something. Um, it has to be. It doesn't matter what it is. I want it to be themed, but I later on figured out like anything, right? I'll just talk about anything. Today I have a bit of topic because I have had some. Yeah, I'll explain that in a moment. Explain it in there is gonna be a trigger warning now. Very carefully to. There is a closed caption on the video, so just turn it on, right? Turn it on. And it will tell you if you're hard at seeing the screen. Look at the caption. I'm gonna talk about a trigger warning at the beginning of the episode. If you are sensitive to that, please stop watching. We'll do this another time, and I'll do a kind of topic, and that will or your speed. Um, for this, I'm gonna be talking about something heavy, somewhat heavy. I'm not gonna go heavy into drama or anything. I'm gonna talk about my observation. Yes. Okay. Start. So I've been debating a lot on doing a episode on this at any point of time, but I think I'm not doing anyone justice by keeping the topic away, right? So what's gonna happen now is two things are gonna happen, and I don't know. Honestly I don't know why I'm doing it like this. Uh, but I just thought, at some point I'm gonna rip off the band-aid. I'm gonna have to do it. But it's still gonna be weird either way. So I thought, let's just do it. Okay, so what am I talking about? What am I talking about? At this moment, I am live on Twitch. What? No, I'm live on YouTube. And on YouTube, I'm gonna be live on Twitch. And I am now streaming a game of Suika game. And during the play of Suika, I am talking or my podcast now. So hello, stream. I mean, hey, hello. I don't know how you would do it, but just think of you're having an interaction with them. So this is gonna be also a trigger warning. There's like, listen, this is gonna be a heavy episode. I'm talking about family trauma, topic I wanted to talk about a long time now, and because it's something that's been on my definitely something that my life and not as much as like I'm having the trauma right now, more of the dealing with it. And I'm talking about a very specific, just basically family drama. I'm not gonna go into specifics too much. I'm gonna stay vague, but I'm sort of gonna just touch subjects. I also don't know. I usually don't script these, so I'm really hoping for the best either way here, and I hope you're along for the journey. If you don't like it, please let me know. 'Cause I do think I haven't had any back yet. There is like I think I have had limited as the sound version, audio version of the podcast, and I appreciate them a lot. I don't know who they are, and it's kind of surprising that it reached out somewhere. Yeah. So this is gonna be a weird episode. Be patient with me. If you're triggered easily by trauma, be mindful of it. I would say I am not of the mindset where shield yourself or shelter yourself too much from and run away basically from problems. Try it head on, and I'm gonna be talking about those like or just dealing with it, right? Just dealing with it. Have to face any head on. How you compartmentalize it. That's where the biggest trauma happens. Really a product of the brain. So yeah, that's enough talk about meta stuff. Are we gonna now start? Um, so what do I mean? The title. You see the title on your device, on your screen. It says trauma, and what do I mean? Like I've been thinking about it just now. Like I have had a lot of problems, and it's mostly because I have not had. I've been thinking hard to had a better setup in my head earlier, and it just went out the window. How should I say it? There has been a lot of parts in my life where things went wrong, right? And I've been thinking about how we've been dealing in my family, right? Me, my mom, my sister, basic people, confronted with most of this, right? Because you have, sorry, God, this is going off the rails already. Anyway, um, so we've been dealing with things lives a lot, and I've been thinking about the people who have been there for us to help us. Because most of the problems we've been having are not self-afflicted problems, right? They're not because of us. We're it's just the product of the people we have to interact with and the the problems we have to deal with. The country we live in or situation up having to live, right? Not even like choose sometimes having to live. Think about it. If you are forced to do anything, it means um, what am I saying? If you're a child of your parents, right, and you are obviously, but your parents are gonna have some decisions they make in their life that will affect you, and how it's affecting the result of that, right? Is the result of their and not always you as a child have the opportunity to have some in on those decisions. Not that you are supposed to have any influence on those decisions. Argue that. I'm just gonna say, like, if you are straight up observing that situation, you don't have any have made. Abide by it, and be anything as small as just moving from one place to another. Uh, your parent has had to remarry. Um, a divorce is have to go. But a decision, those are decisions that will have an effect on. Um, and there's nothing those children can do about those. The only thing you can do is basically survival, right? And especially in times where mental health is talking point. Um, it becomes more prevalent for any child when they encounter similar discussion on the internet. They're faced with, even if they're not in the exact situation that I'm. They hear it from others much more loudly than with back in the day. Now, okay, so that's one thing, right? We have like children just don't have really much um great word to hear, but I can't really think of it. But don't have any um say in whatever whether it's voluntary or not. It just happens, and as you had don't really know what's going on. Have to do, and but what I can observe is uh, when it does go down, the the people who are around you, we can only survive as a species, as humans, when the people around us support us, right? Because it's not easy. It's not easy being. We have a lot of problems to cope with. Not saying I'm not saying any superiority against animals. That's not the subject of the day. But we're a herd kind of animal. HERD, herd kind of animal. Um, and we deal with things by communicating. Um, but in the communication, we also realize are the people actually rely on, or are the people, and how can you like optimize the uh, amount of people you can rely on in life? That's what made me think, right? Because this is a problem. Because I was thinking, I was here, I played, I'm playing Mario RPG. Mario RPG is a very dear game, and but it's also linked to a very traumatic time. And I've recently was mostly a very traumatic time. Who was the I'm not gonna get, but I do realize that in those times of need, there was a certain amount, a certain group of people that were trying to help us in that situation. Um, and the most shocking thing, basically, is that, again, going from one subject to another, and kind of summarize what I just said. I played a game, right, a Mario game, love dearly, because and because of that game, I remembered a time when I played that game, and that time was a very traumatic time. At that time, there was something traumatic happened, and some people did help us, right? Okay, but it was shocking to me that the people who helped us were not the people you would think usually would. They ended up being neighbors, friends, distant people who weren't communicating much. As a child, I never thought about that, and I don't know what the real reason was because I have to ask that young. Look back now, it was just that it wasn't our family that it was no one from our family there for help us. I'm not saying that they should. That is a very close-minded way of um life is, especially not when miles away from each other. But then thought about it because that was okay. That made sense, right? Because they were not close to us, so they couldn't help. They had their own things. Kind of okay. Doesn't really matter. But then time again kept happening. And there was something where not being held by a family. Let's say close family. I'll be specific about how close. And we were not being held by our closest of, and we kept being in some kind of trouble that wasn't of our own design or doings, and no one really helped us, but the friends and neighbors and work people that kind of like supported each other. That's weird. Isn't that weird? That's not supposed to be weird, right? I mean, it is weird. Sorry, not what I meant. It is weird. So, but why is it happening? Why does that happen? Why does it kept? Why did it kept happening? That's what I just now was thinking. It's like, why does that keep like that? And then I realized, wait, one thing that's different about the two groups I was just talking about, like family and one group being family and one group being neighbors and friends and all those kind of people that end up being the support group. Not always, but my family, my that was I had more support from them, and the reason why I can't assume that my family will be there for us is because, to be honest, we can't choose them, right? That's where I come back to the concept of choosing your own path and just the inability to choose, right? As a child, what I'm trying to why I said that earlier is like how rough it is that we have no choice. So we have to deal with the choices of our parents. Um, but it comes down to we don't have any choice in any of that, right? And this is something that is being debated a lot. It's also the same discussion that is happening when it comes to LGBT. Never chose this this life for us. We want to now choose lives, and that's what they choose. Whatever perspective they want to assume their choice, right? And yeah, we don't really have a choice. So in the same vein, we don't really have a choice in family. Just get those. That's a given. That's like a uh, they aren't to be picked on the character select screen. You just have to deal with that. That is something that's that's kind of rough. That's kind of rough. That made me think, if family is not something you, and you're not always guaranteed to have support from because of that, right? Because they don't they don't know you, and and if they so they can ignore you, right? And I was thinking about that, like, wow, that's a very depressing thought. And I thought about, like, wow, kind of kind of normal if you think about uh um topics at like God, I'm a new, now I think about it, it's too triggering sometimes of, of talking about difficult stuff. I'm also on YouTube streaming, right? So I should be careful. Even though I'm gonna use a triggering subject, I should be careful what I say. So let me say, when people end things on their own, right? they have reached a certain level of depression that is almost unmanageable, or unmanageable, unmanageable. Um, and I never had patience. Were of that mind. There's always someone to love, or one that loves you. So there's no reason for us to think one ever. Um, so what's the point? You shouldn't do that. It just brings about hurt and nothing. You have the most unsupportive base stats. If you put it in game terms, base stats. How how would you else deal with it, right? If you just been dealt the wrong cards and deal with the family that has been set out for you, how can you deal? I can kind of understand now where they coming from. Make deal hard to think about, and I don't think good to think those terms or think about thinking of those terms. But what I now this stage of my life, what I have been realizing is the inevitability of what family can be is actually is does not equate to the inevitability of happiness, right? Because there is more to life. Your family is not the only around, and that's what I have been slowly, surely, basically all my life been working with. That there are more people around um my life that I can rely on. That's where the subject comes back to friends and friends and neighbors and coworkers and just human beings that are around you. You know what I mean? There's more people around just your family because there's some kind of entitlement. Um, so what I'm trying to say is, um, I think it's good to talk about family. Very good life. They have been there their whole life. They have been you have been through a lot of things. I hope you have been through find you as family. You have a lot of people that don't really have this trying to define what family. But if you have had that struggle, I would implore you look outward, right? I would implore you to look at others out of the box, right? My life that has been the big box, the best solution. Really put your life in perspective. Um, if family isn't the solution, friends might. Friends is family might. And this, there there is a level of where there is a limit. There's always a limit. There's always exceptions, you know. Um, so don't take my word as that is definitely how. No, that's how it could be. I also just said when you think about it, I said those people struggle with their um. So yeah, uh, it's really rough to talk about this because you would want better, right? You would want, and even you can imagine a world where the people who are kind of letting you down would also want a better situation. But let's be frank about things. some people just don't aren't in a situation where they can be like, and it might be their own wants and needs, their own survival instinct, their own uh their own point of view of the world. Not everyone, that's actually most the biggest truth you can say. Like, no one really thinks the same. Our DNA is not close enough. There are two people who exact same. There's so much randomness to it. So there is a lot of parameters to think about if you want to deal with people. What I mean is, when you have to deal with people that are more difficult, you have to make a plan basically of how you're gonna deal with it. Once you have to make a plan to deal with it, that means you don't technically really, and they don't technically understand your existence. Um, that's sad, but that's the truth. We have to live with. The sooner we realize that that is our reality, um, the better equipped we will be. I I feel like I hit a good stop, but there's so much more to say about this. Uh, trying to be, I'm trying to be. Don't. It is a tactic again. I have to have a tactic to deal with things. If I don't, I might end up having trouble later. So, but it's sad. Sad that I have to have a tactic to deal with people when those people are the closest that are to you. But this has been a thing in ages, right? Like, why have there been kings and princes and stuff that have been killing each other for the sake of ruling a country? Why is that a thing? If family is the most important thing, family is supposed to be the most important. Why is that in of history still a thing that keeps happening? Siblings are killing each other. Damn it. Okay, I'm not searching for monetization on YouTube because I don't have that kind of channel yet, so maybe it doesn't really matter. In any case, let's get back into on topic. Um, there have been a lot of like stories where, those are where they just and it's not like that's those are like old timey stories. What good do those do? Are they really out through? And turns out, right, there are so many mothers dump those kind of where it doesn't make sense how a family member has those story in the grand about that we have like about 4 billion people in the world. 4 billion doesn't matter. We have so many people in the world, and there's only like a subset of about maybe a billion only where they are crazy like that. Um, but it's still a phenomena, right? It has been happening here, so is really, and that's when the question comes: is really family everything there is to it? I'm not saying all families have this. Not a claim. What I'm saying is people who have been dealing. Why are they dealt such cards that they have to deal with it and they have no way? Or at least that's how how it feels to them, right? And again, I'm speaking about it like candidly, but that's basically how it's been. Wishing the best from more I think about it, the more I shouldn't. And I'm not talking about the closest of family. It's really really specific. Listen, there are exceptions. There are exceptions. In any case, like I know a lot of families. I look at those that they don't have the issues I have. They don't have the issues that my family has. They don't have family that act so so readily. Um, when things come to shove, right? But it, but I do have that kind because it's your problem. You have to deal with it, and the way they can, that realization, things are like that. Kind of sad. That made me sad for people eventually technically have that. How can you vocalize, right? How can you vocalize? My family is. How do you say? What is the right way? What are those words? Because every kind of like social gathering, whatever, um, always being said, family is the most important. It's true. I won't deny that fact. Just wish it was more true than it truly is. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I think the silver lining I'm trying to paint here is that if you're having, I would say, don't give up, right? And look outward. I've said it in the look outward. Are many um just don't be just don't be the person that like requires that to happen. Oh, my family is shitty, so you should be one that's safe, right? No, don't request anything. Are just people that can be good, kind of good that you can be to others. Because that's basically my be as good to people want others. Even in a business setting, I want to invite people to certain I want to get right. Um. So yeah. Yeah. Don't give up. Have faith in your life. Um. If you're happy with your family, that's great. You're one of the lucky ones that can claim that your family can't be. If you can't have that luxury, give up. Like your happiness might hide in very unexpected corner. It doesn't have to be friends like it was from. It could be a whole different set of family direction because that's also what. Look, it's not our whole family that is that I'm having troubles with. Let's put it like that. It's just a certain subsect of them that are very close. That I'm having it. But if I go closer, like if I think about like I don't have any trouble. I can be upfront with that one. I don't have any troubles with my cousin. Most of my cousins are great. You know, they at least know what kind of things they. I don't talk to them that often. I can't claim that too harshly or too loudly because I just don't know. But I think I do. I think we put outward of family. So yeah, if for anyone, uh, this comes just as like, hey, you're not alone. I know what you're dealing, and take solace in it. There are many others that also not, um, also not localized in areas like away. Uh, all Indian, you know, it's not localized like that. And people I've been talking to, different, that have been dealing with kind of problem I've been dealing. Um, there're just not that many of them because there's a lot of people still talking about, yeah, family is the best thing, and if when if you try to utter anything that's against that, crazy. It's so hard to do that thing. uh, one of the I was talking not too long. Okay, here's a little story. I'll be less fake with this as I've been too vague. One of the stories I can tell is I have I don't have the greatest relationship. I don't have really a falling, not angry or anything, but he hasn't been the best when it really have. Has been serious issues, really serious issues. Call it out as it is. Was domestic abuse. Been that far, right? Call it out as it. Um, so it makes sense that I don't have any about him, to him, or about him. You know, has chosen lives, and we're happy that he's getting the milk. Have the option to wanted to, but that's just the way we want to lead our lives. And what let's be fair, our lives are short enough, so we should be focusing on the best parts of life rather than right. Um, so yeah, but I have another friend that has basically the same situation. A bit different. He does have more, um, less and less. Um, but I was talking to him about it, and yeah, how do you deal with it sometimes? Like, don't you have situations where people are telling you like, hey, or do you never think about your dad? It's like, wow, it's kind of sad. You don't have any commitment. And he's like, yeah, what do you mean? So I further explained, like, I had a situation searching for a job. There was someone I was going to work at. There was a place where I was going to work. The director of the place, he kind of knew my family, right, well enough. He said, hey, did you have any communications with your dad? Like, no, we're not really in a situation. Like, I was being casual about it. Like, no, we're not really in a situation where we ever are going to have any communication. That's not a thing. Thought about it. Looked at me. Yeah, you should. You should communicate. I was like, he was like, yeah. You should. Stay with your dad. I mean, he's dad, right? Yeah, yeah, but no, I've made my decision on that one. That's not gonna happen. He said it from his own perspective, but he doesn't know the things that have happened, right? He doesn't know the troubles we've been in. I think if he knew the troubles we've been in, he wouldn't have said any of that. But still a privacy thing. You don't have to say all the things that happened. Um, but it was kind of frustrating. Can't fault him or trying to talk like that, but the way he talked about kind of irks. And my friend, he was like, talk like that. I was like, right? You would have fallen on that one a bit. Like, right? It sucks when people talk like that. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. There are people out there that know what you go through. And people who care for you are in your directions, but you can find. Yeah. Up your head high. Really tough when you're a kid. What are you able to say? Sure, because what else can they do? What else can we? I mean, there is, especially in third world countries, there's no child protective this in all countries. Not a thing. Just have to endure a little, find a peace, or just mean exploring. Let me say it like that. Just need outside. Hey, this was a little long one. I kind of rambled on for a bit. I'm sorry about that, but I think I covered the things I wanted to say. I thought it was gonna be a bit more edgy, the thing I was gonna talk about. So I kind of feel bad about making it sound like a whole uh, bad thing was gonna be made, a whole hubbub about trigger warning and stuff, and end up talking about too many things. I did say so. The trigger warning still stands. Not like I didn't mention anything. Um, yeah, I think I just felt I had to say. I've been dealing with this for. I wanted to, at some point, have an outlet where I just talk about kind of subject. Uh, feel 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 good about having it at somewhere out in that world, right? And there might be repercussions. Just thinks about, man, what is he talking about and stuff like that. I just worry about that maybe. But I think for me, the person that I am, I feel like I deserve to have some output for the feelings I'm having. Because it's something I'm dealing with, and it's something that I know other people are dealing with. I feel like if there was some, listen, if there was someone, this is exactly why I'm doing this. Is that I was just thinking like, why am I saying these things? It's so rough to talk about these things, and but I keep forgetting to say this part. Part is, if I had anyone in my life that could talk one on one with about the problems I had, I would feel so much better. I had people like that. I had people like that. I'm not saying I didn't have. I had people like that. Imagine. I can imagine people who haven't had any of that with anyone, and yet, um, at that. That's why I'm putting this out there. I can't talk to you. Not something, but do know you're not alone. There are people out there that know have suffered the things you've. Um, the only advice that I can give someone who has keep at it. Your head held high, it'll be better. And a little better. Work a little harder on finding better people to surround yourself. Well, thank you for listening. This is kind of a long of this podcast. I wasn't planning on doing it long, but I had a lot of things. I actually technically wanted to end 5 minutes or before, but it didn't end up that way. um, this is a video. Yeah, you can find this video on YouTube. I have no clue what's gonna happen to this. I have been playing this whole the game, um, and pretty bad and well at the same. I had scored of 9. I played very well for talking. Also think I lost the thread on what I was talking gameplay, so I kind of regret about that. But I feel I don't know. I kind of wanna know. Let me know in the comments below, and you know how you felt about. And yeah, on Spotify and all those podcast places that I've put. It's at least you can find it on Spotify, and I saw I use an app called Podcast Addict, and on my podcast there, so working. Find my podcast. Oh, let me know. You can tweet at me at DVX. You can write on me, or you can. What irks you like about in the future? Yeah, been here, heavy on my heart. I'm a little happy that I'm out at the curve. Yeah, we'll see her. YouTube. Haven't had any watchers. Clear zero line during this. And that's fine. I didn't really expect anything. Um, and we'll see what happens, right? Again, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna stop the stream. I'll do this one more time, and I'll look at the and I'll keep or not keep doing it based on. Uh, yeah. Good day or night.